Hey, what's up folks? This is Gray here, and today we're looking at a few products that are going to be on sale over at Olight for OFAN Day. I think it's going to be 2 to 3 days. Sales are going to be going on. All links will be down in the description, and of course, if you click on any of those links and happen to purchase anything, of course, it helps benefit the channel, just to be in absolute transparency. The three items that I'm going to be looking at today that they're going to be offering is one, the Array 2S, which is their headlamp, I was quietly impressed with it. I like anything that's hands-free that produces light. I like the aspect that it has multiple settings from spot to flood to dual spot and flood, as well as a red light option as well. When you buy a headlamp, having that red light built into it is very beneficial from my perspective. Also, we're looking at the Baton 3 Pro. They've done some new things with this. They've made the button a little bit recessed and more easier to get at versus some of the smaller buttons they had. And of course, it also has an IPX rating, I think IPX8 rating. So you can kind of submerge this thing here for, I think, was it almost 6 feet for 30 minutes. Not that most people would do that, but if you happen to drop it, or if it's raining, or drop it in like right there where you're fishing in a pond or stream, you're not going to lose your light that you spent money on. Also, we're going to be looking at the first time ever on my channel that I've ever had to review one of their knives, which is the Freeze 2, and this is the Oknife Freeze 2. And the reason I chose the copper scales is because I like the way things patina, because it makes it my own, outside of just getting some black scales or something like that. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's starting to patina through my usage right there, and eventually it'll patina nicely up with all these different colors and patterns and whatnot, which makes it uniquely my own. But other than that, like I said, to sum it up, we're going to be going over these three products. We'll look at an in-depth review at each one of them. We'll look at the different, lumens that this thing can produce. I think it's from 0.5 all the way to 1500 lumens. I think this I think it does have a moonlight mode. It has a red light setting in there, like I said, and I think it goes up to 1000 lumens as well. And then we'll look at the steel and whatnot of this blade and kind of break it down and see if it's beneficial to you. So we'll look at all three of these items and go into an in-depth review of these products. And I always look forward to reading your guys' comments down below in regards to what you think of these products. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so what do you get in the box? Some folks like to see what's inside the box when you buy something from Olight, specifically the Baton 3 Pro. Of course, you're going to get the light. You're going to get the battery that's inside here. I can show you that real quick. It is an Olight battery. You can buy more of these on their website. It is an 18650, 3200 milliamps, 3.6 volts, high discharge battery. It is proprietary somewhat. I've used other batteries, but you want to be careful when you do that, in the aspect that you want to know a little bit about your battery chemistry and what you're using, because the last thing you want to do is have an issue. They have changed a few different things with the knurling, the size of the button. I do like this blue clip. Of course, it's like your Z clips. You can clip it on, I don't know if you can see that. You can clip it on this way. You can clip it on that way. It does have a hidden proximity sensor inside there as well. And of course, your magnetic charging, which will show. Outside of the box and the instructions, let's go ahead and move that to the side. What do you get in this little bag? Let's go ahead and dump that out. Of course, you get the nice, pretty little pouch, which I use these for different things. I don't really keep my light in there because usually if it's an EDC light, I'm using it for continuously purposing things that I do on a daily basis and whatnot. So anyways, you're going to see some of this 3M stuff here. You're also going to see this Olight L bracket right here. And this is if you want to, let's say you want to mount this somewhere let's say against a wall or your garage or anywhere that you see fit that you want to use this. And that's going to connect to that battery, and it's going to be on there as well. So it attaches really nicely, and it sits there, and you can just grab it when you need it. So that's what that bracket consists of. This is your MCC3 connector. This is capable of 1 amp, 1.5 amp, and 2 amp. I don't know if you guys can see that there. And it is basically a standard USB connection. And that's how you charge it, by connecting this to a power source via USB and then charging that. Some people will use these in conjunction, but I don't think that works well like that, of course, because there's no activity. It's there, but it doesn't have that power. So don't try to do it that way. But all in all, like I said, the L bracket comes in handy depending on what you're using it for once it's fully charged. All right, so let's kind of get into the specifications of the light itself. All right, so let's kind of jump into the operation of the Baton 3 Pro. This is going to be your operational button right here that you push to turn it on. And it's very simple. When you turn it on, it's going to be one click. And I'm going to go ahead and hold this down and get it into the low mode. So if you can kind of see there, I'm going to try to use my hand to kind of give you an idea of the beam there. And to change this to go from different settings, from like, let's say low, medium, high, and turbo, you're going to hold this button down right here, and it's going to go to the next setting, and to the next setting, and then if I go here, double click, it's going to bring in my turbo. Now it's hard to see. We'll go to the night shots. You'll see a little bit of a difference there in 1500 lumens. Now, being that there's a proximity sensor here, when I get close to it, that proximity sensor is going to drop this light down just to make sure someone doesn't get blinded or whatnot. You know what I mean? And let's say if I want to bring this down back to like that low mode, and I turn it off, and then I turn it back on, it's going to retain that memory. So let's say if you have it on high, right, and then you turn it off and you turn it back on, it's going to remember where you left off in regards to the setting that you use. Like I said, it's relatively easy functionality-wise to use these devices. I'm not going to show you the strobe mode because sometimes that'll create issues with people that watch this that might have epilepsy and whatnot. I've done it many, many times, but this does offer a strobe option as well if that's something that you're going to use it for. All in all, like I said, it's a nice little handy EDC light. Always look forward to reading your comments and what you think about stuff like this. The Baton 3 Pro has made some advancements where they've given you more surface area for this. The button's a little easier to get where it's recessed in there nice and flat. They changed the knurling on here a bit, like I said, and it just feels good in the hand, you know what I mean? Because if you're sweaty, if it's raining, it's water and whatnot, you want to have a nice grip on your thing. All right, folks, so let's go ahead and look at low on the Baton 3 Pro. And so I decided to use, I've been using my garden for quite some time to kind of show you these night shots. And if you can see that back fence there, that's roughly 36.5 feet from where I'm sitting, to kind of give you guys an idea of how far the light is reaching. And again, this is in low mode, and you can see how I pan across things that are closer and farther. I'm going to go ahead and put it in medium, which is holding it down and pushing it. It'll go into medium mode. And as you can see, there's a huge difference there, right? You can see so much. And then up there is the tree that I kind of pan to sometimes, and we can kind of pan this up to look up that tree. And that tree is about 40 feet tall. I know it sounds a little crazy, but it's past the power lines, believe it or not. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and go into high mode. And remember, this is just medium right here. Now we're going to go into high. A lot more light right there. I mean, you can see detail and everything in the garden right now. You can see what a mess the garden is and whatnot. But you can kind of get an idea of when you move things around. You can kind of see and go up into that tree up there at the top. And then we're going to go ahead and put this in turbo mode, which is basically 2 clicks. And as you can see, the light kicked up a few more lumens. As you can see how bright that is. I'm pretty sure the neighbors aren't happy about my light and doing these tests out here. But it's like, for such a small compact light, it works very well. And we'll go up that tree with the turbo, and you guys can kind of see that there. Not bad at all for a nice light, especially when it fits in your pocket and it's very compact. Alright, so let's kind of look at the operation of this device here in regards to turning on the light. You have a couple of different things that you can do in regards to that. Now, if you look at the sensor right here, that's going to be your kind of like your wave mode, right? Where you can kind of go up higher by going this direction or go lower going this direction. I like it and I don't like it. That's just my perspective of it. It might make it easy for some folks, but I notice when I'm walking through the woods, if I come through bushes and stuff like that, it kind of activates that and will kind of play with my lighting, which I don't like. So depending if you're just jogging or you're riding a bike or something like that, it might make sense. If you need more light, you can kind of, turn it up. If it's too bright when you're coming up to a buddy of yours, you can kind of turn it down without having to worry about the button. I get why they have this. Being on the headlamp, because you don't want to reach up here all the time, maybe pushing a button, but to me it's still the same. So let me kind of show you on here real quick. You have your main light, your sensor, you have your other light, which is like a combination with the spot and the flood, and then you have your red light right there. All in all, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Basically, to turn it on, it's a simple operation where you're going to just push the one button. I don't know if you can see that there in the light. And basically, to go through the modes, like I said, you can do the wave thing, or you can just hold this button down and to go from low, medium, and high. You can see those settings here. Again, I can hold it down. It'll go back down to low, and then medium, and then high. And that's just your main beam there. Now if I'm to double click this, I'm going to go ahead and put this in low mode again real fast. So when I double click it, I'm going to click this button 2 times, and you're going to see that other light come on. I don't want to get it directly in the camera, but you can see how there's 2 lights on there. And now, same operation, low, medium, and high. Low, whoops, didn't mean to turn it off there. Low, medium, and then your high. And like I said, that's using both of those lights. I'm going to go ahead and go back to low mode. And then we're going to go into 2 more clicks, and that's going to take it into your red operation. Like I said, we'll go over, you'll see a lot of this happening in the night shots to kind of give you an idea of how they work and how it looks pretty much. In the night shots, I'll be honest with you folks, I don't have any high-tech gear in regards to doing night shots, so sometimes the night shots can be a little bit grainy, but you get the gist of it when I'm showing you the beam distance and whatnot. And I'll kind of go over the specs of what they say that this can do. Double click it again. Now I'm in my red mode there, and then we're going to go ahead and do this a second time. Low, medium, and then high. I know it's hard to see this one here. You can kind of see the brightness on my hand, but other than that, you got your low, medium, and high. Kind of goes right through those. And then to turn it off, you can just click the button. And it does have memory as well, so if you leave it on the red and you want the red to use if you're out camping and you're worried about having a bright white light, as long as you leave it in the red and you turn it back on, it's going to remember where you left off. And if you have it in low mode, right down there, and then you turn it off and turn it back on, it's going to remember that. So that is a benefit to something like that, that you know once you have it set, it's going to be set to where you want it to. So let's kind of get into the specifications of the device itself real quick for some of you folks that care to know. All right, so in regards to the headlamp itself, when you to recall correctly earlier on when I was talking about it, it's an IPX4 waterproof rating on this. The thing is not too heavy, even with the battery pack and headband and everything like that. It's about 4.62 ounces or 131 grams. Like I said, it's a very small compact light, a battery pack in the back. Honestly, when I wear a hat, I really don't use it. This is more of a sweatband, but I prefer to wear mine with the hat. It just works better from my perspective. And like I said, this max performance of something like this is going to be at 1,000 lumens. And basically the beam distance is going to be about 459 feet or about 140 meters for you folks out there. Now, when it comes to the flood mode on high, you're looking at about 500 lumens. It'll last you about 5 hours, which is awesome. Now, if you wanted to go into medium mode, which is just something that you want to maneuver around with at 250 lumens, you'll get about 6.5 hours. And then, of course, if you're in low, you're getting about 30 lumens, about 30 hours, so an hour per lumen. The red light on high is about 200 lumens, and you get about 5.5 hours out of that one. And then in medium, you're about 100 lumens, about 8.5 hours. And if I recall correctly, I think, what is it, the low mode? I think this is probably, I think you get about 15 hours at 40 lumens on the low with the red light. Now, if you have the flood and spotlight mode in high, which is 1,000 lumens, you're going to get roughly about 4 hours with this. And if you're at 500 lumens in the medium section, you get about 5 hours. And then moving down into the low section, I want to recall, I think this is about 13.5 hours at 100 lumens, and that's with your flood and spotlight mode in conjunction with each other, which is the 2 main lights there. And that kind of breaks that down into that. Now we'll get into the night shots like we did before with the other products that we've looked at. Okay. So let's look at the Olight headlamp, the Array 2S, and that's going to be in low. Now this headlamp, like I said, has a couple of different settings. See if we can get this thing to focus here. There we go. All right, so this is going to be low on the headlamp here. And with this headlamp, you're going to have several different settings. Basically, this is more of a spot, and then you have a spot plus flood. And then you have night mode, which is a red light, and we'll go through all 3 of them. They all have low, medium, and high. Now you can wave in front of it to increase the brightness. You wave one way up to bring the brightness, and then you can wave down to decrease the brightness. So if I wanted to do it that way, instead of pushing the button down, I would just wave it, and it goes to the next section, or the next setting per se, right? And that's going to be your medium there. You guys can kind of see that. I'm turning that back and forth. And then if I was going to go into high mode, I can wave my hand in front of it again, and it's going to turn it into high. Always nice to hear the sirens going off in the evening, isn't it? Let you know you're in a safe area. Anyways, so as you can see, when you do that, it will only go so high. Now if I wanted to go the opposite direction, I could wave in front of it, and it'll go all the way back down to low mode. And sorry about the camera. When it comes to night stuff, it's always complicated doing stuff unless you have some sort of state-of-the-art equipment, which I don't. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this into the next mode, which is a double click on there. And that's going to put it into a flood mode. And the flood, you can see it has a lot more spread on the headlamp itself, where you can see that. And then of course that's the low, and then that's going to be the medium. Again, the medium always kicks it up tremendously. You can see it pretty good. And I mean, I can move this around so that you guys can see the headlamp is actually pretty powerful, almost like the other light when it comes to that. And then we can move it into high mode by pushing that one more time. And you can see the light kicks up tremendously. And again, we can go look around. We can follow that tree. I mean, if you were looking for, you know, a squirrel or something in the tree or whatever, you hear a noise or whatnot, you can definitely see what you need to do. It's a nice light. I really like having headlamps because they come in handy in the aspect of it's hands-free, you know. So let's kind of go into the next setting in the red mode. So it'll start off with low. Let me go ahead and double click the button here. Alright, so you can see this is with the red light here, and there's a reason for the red light, and I'll get into all that during the daytime video. It's funny, I always do the nighttime videos first before I do the daytime part of the video. Anyways, that's low. We're going to go ahead and kick it up to medium. You see a lot more light there. And then we're going to go ahead and move it up to high. And you can see that's a lot of red light. Works great on camera. And we'll kind of pan up the tree if you like, so you can see how much penetration that light gets on the red. Kind of give you an idea. I mean, you can pretty much, the closer you get, the brighter it is to everything. But not bad, you know, roughly, like I said, that's about 35 plus feet to the fence back there from where I'm sitting. Alright. I always like to hear comments from you guys in regards to these night videos, what I could do better, what would you like to see, to kind of give me a better idea how to do some of these night shots and stuff like that. So put them down in the comments. Alright, so let's look at the folding pocket knife called the Freeze 2. And it kind of gives you some specifications out here as well in regards to the metallurgy, the brand you got, if you got copper, if you got carbon fiber, and the weight and whatnot. Some people may want to see what they get on the inside. It's well packaged. I think they got a lot of nice stuff in here. You're going to get this little thing that you can put it in. Some people will keep their knives in these little things like that. But it doesn't have like something that you can mount it to your belt or something like that. To me, if Olight wanted to do something better with this, they would put a couple straps in here so people could either put it to their belt or a clip, something like that. I don't know, something else other than just like this little case here. Maybe put this into like a little molly pouch or something like that. That would be nice. In regards to it, you do get like this commemorative coin on here. I want to say it is also copper, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can see that there. If it'll focus in on that. It's pretty neat that it comes with that. It's just kind of like a commemorative thing that you bought the knife and something as a little extra in there. It doesn't do anything special or whatnot, but again, if Olight is paying attention and to my reviews, I would say probably do something where you could have some way to attach this to a belt or someone's pack or something like that. That would probably be the best bet, or even Velcro. If you had some Velcro or something on there, something along those lines, just a very simple, easy thing to do. Outside of that, I'm going to go ahead and put this away and move this and kind of focus in on the knife. There you go. You also get like a little cardboard cutout, which my daughter wants, which I thought was entertaining. But anyways, just to show you that, let's kind of open up the blade. Again, the metallurgy of the blade is 154 cm. Basically, all that really means is it's high wear and corrosion resistance. It's definitely some decent, knife edge on there and whatnot. My scales, I chose the copper. The reason I chose the copper is kind of what I said before, is that it kind of gives you, it makes it your own. Like I said, it used to be more of a brighter copper, but as I've been using it over the last couple of weeks, it's starting to patina and getting that nice color to it. I like that for that reason, and that's why I chose the copper versus the plain old carbon fiber and whatnot. I don't know if you can see in here, it is a full liner lock, which is very nice. Some of the cheap knives out there that you get that are just horrible have a partial liner lock in here, and this one is very nice. It's nice and tight. If I was going in there, if I was worried about stabbing something or putting pressure on that, it's not going to close on my fingers. It is a drop point. If you guys are familiar with knives, I know there's some folks out there that are knife snobs. In regards to specifics on knives, this is a drop point knife there. I'm trying to think of anything else I could say about it. I mean, it has a nice clip on it. Like I said, I do, again, like the copper of the thing. I mean, it's ideal for like cutting and doing some chopping, peeling, and stuff like that. It's not going to, you're not going to chop wood with it or anything like that. I think the length, let me see. I think the close length, if you close this down, it's about 4.29 inches or so. And like I said, I like the clip on the back. It sits nice. I've been using this for, like I said, a couple of weeks now. It opens up nice and quick. I do like that. Of course, it has their Oknife there. It kind of gives you the metal urgency there, and also the freeze too, and some more information there for you. It's kind of really hard to see on there. And if you had to, you could probably take this apart to clean it and whatnot. But I'm going to go ahead and let this patina to the best of my ability. And I'll show you some stuff that I did with the knife just to kind of test the blade out. All right, so this is probably not going to be the best demonstration of feathering wood or whatnot, just because this base is all wobbly and moving on here. I'm just trying to set something up to put on camera, but I wanted to show you that you could use this knife for that purpose. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to try to scrape off some of this wood here in this thing. You're going to come across some knots, but all in all, it's pretty good. And that's your knot there. Of course, it's not going to go any further than that unless you take that knot out right there. But all in all, let me see if I can get this going here. If you were trying to, and this wood is not going to be, it's not doing horrible. You don't want to apply too much pressure when you're doing this. What I'm going to do is use my handy dandy little cutting board here, set that up to show you that after you do all that, the blade, like I said, it has a nice retention on there for sharpness and whatnot. This is a nice little mini cutting board, and I'm going to go take this here and just kind of, cut this pepper up and show you how it's still nice and sharp to do what I need it to do. If you're in the kitchen or whatnot, if you're going from the outdoors into the kitchen, there you got some options. It's a nice clean cut. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but all in all, like I said, it's a nice little knife for what it is. You know what I mean? And again, I really enjoy the patina. With anything, it's better to have a knife than no knife at all. I'm pretty impressed. I've never had a flashlight company put together a knife before, and I'm happy with the first knife that I've ever got from Olight, aka Oknife. Pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, because I'm really curious to hear some of you knife gurus out there. What do you think of something like this with this full liner lock, the type of metal it's urgy it is and whatnot, the drop point style? What are your thoughts? All right, folks, so that's going to bring us to the end of this video. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully, if you're looking for a discount on one of the Olight products that I reviewed here today, the link is down in the description. Check out some of the stuff. I think even the O lantern that I did a review a while back on is also on sale, if I recall correctly. It's always nice to catch the sales where you can save money. I think it's up to 45% off on certain products. So go check it out. And as always, I always appreciate all you guys that have watched my content and dropping the comments down below. And I love engaging with you folks. If you have any further questions in regards to any of these products, feel free to email me. All my information is down below in the description, as well as any other affiliate links that you may be interested in too as well. Other than that, folks, remember, be safe out there. And remember, you are not alone. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys in the rebound. God bless.